Alright guys, welcome to my DS-sized games I bought episode 4. And the reason why I call it a DS-sized episode is because 4 of the 5 new games that I bought are DS games. And 2 of which I've played a lot of, I've enjoyed a lot of. 1 of which I picked up today. 2 of which I haven't played yet. So we'll get to those last, but let me start off with the first game I bought. And that's Ninja Town for the DS. Now, I bought this on Black Friday at Best Buy. It was only $15, and let me tell you, that's some of the best $15 I've spent all year. This is one of the most addicting and charming and cute games I've played in a long time. Now, the best way to describe this game is, for those of you that have ever played a tower defense game, for those of you with PlayStation 3s, if you've ever played Pixel Junk Monsters, or I'm sure some of you have played on the PC, free versions of tower defense type games. There's a lot of them out there, like Defend My Castle, I think it's called, or something like that. Whatever. But basically, you're in a town with very cutesy little ninjas, and it gets invaded by these red monsters, and the whole story of the game is that your ninja town has to protect a recipe for cookies that you don't want getting outside of your village. So these monsters are coming in, trying to take your recipe, and it's your job to defend it. How do you do that? You build the town, you build little houses, and ninjas come out and defend your village. It's as simple as that. Now, there's different types of ninjas that'll defend. You don't have, for those of you that have never played a tower defense game before, basically, think of it as a simplified real-time strategy game where you don't do any of the unit commanding, really. You just build the structures, and they do the rest of the work for you. So, each level is going to have a different path. One level might be like a U path where the monsters will start at point A and they have to try and make it to point B, while your creatures, your ninjas in this game, have to defend that pathway. So the creatures are on an ever-moving path, and the only thing that'll stop them is you building structures where the ninjas will defend that walkway. So there's different types of ninjas. There's ones that will slow down enemies, the snowball ninjas. There's ones that are snipers, where the certain enemies won't attack them. They'll just keep shooting their little leaf arrows at the enemies. There's ones that are faster but weaker, and then there's the slow but strong ones. There's all these different types of ninjas. And then you also have ninja powers, where you kind of play as an overworld, think of yourself as playing as God, where you can kind of, at will, use certain points that you've accumulated from destroying enemies and using that to repel the enemies. Like, you might be able to suddenly give all your ninjas a speed boost and they'll quickly attack quicker. You'll be able to pick a direction with the stylus and then blow into the microphone, and you'll blow the enemies in that certain direction. All these different powers just add to the game. Now, I've played a lot of this game. I could almost do a review on this, so I'm not going to go too much into it because I am going to do a review. I really do enjoy this game, but for the same thing with your ninjas, with its different types, there's also different types of enemies. You'll have boss enemies that are really slow and strong. You'll have enemies that will just keep running through your defenses. Normally, when an enemy comes in contact with one of your ninjas, they'll stop and fight them. However, there's certain enemies, that'll just keep walking by, and you need a certain kind of enemy to stop them in their tracks. There's other enemies that will turn your ninjas into zombies to fight alongside with them. All these different zombies, and the awesome thing about it is this game is always giving you something new. Every stage, you're usually almost always introduced to some kind of new power or mechanic or some kind of new enemy. And that's what really keeps me engaged. It's so addicting. And in the beginning, it might seem really easy, but believe me, later on in the game, there's nine worlds, each one with 4 levels. By the 4th or 5th world, I was starting to get really challenged. Right now, I'm on the end of the 6th world, I believe, so I'm kind of close to the end. But I'm really, really enjoying this one so far. And so look forward to a review on this one. But it's definitely worth picking up for the DS if you've never even played a tower defense game. Try it out. I guarantee you'll find a lot of charm in here. Even the writing. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but the writing in this game is hilarious for anybody that's like in with the internet lingo. Now, here's one that you probably know that I picked up. Also on the DS, just take a guess. You probably know what it is. It's Chrono Trigger. Now, I will admit I don't have this on the Super Nintendo. I originally played it back on Final Fantasy Chronicles for the PlayStation 1, and this is a blessing. Why? Because the load times on the PlayStation 1 version were horrendous. Every time you get into a battle, you have to wait a couple of seconds, which got ridiculous. I did beat it on PlayStation 1, and this one right now I'm about 5 or 6 hours in. I just made it to 65 million BC, and I gotta do some leveling up because the enemies were kind of destroying me. But so far, you know, it's a really excellent port, and I know this is what everybody else says, and they even have it on the back of the box here. They even have on here, one of their bullet points is timeless gameplay feels fresher than ever before. They know that they're re-releasing a game from, you know, back in the Super Nintendo days, back from the 90s. But this game still does feel fresh. I'm going to use the famous quote that everybody uses. It's a game that, you know, stands the test of time, because Chrono Trigger is a time-traveling game. But it really does. The graphics hold up. The music, amazing, still holds up. The story, even the combat is fast-paced. You can change, you know, how fast you want the combat to go. Anybody who has not played Chrono Trigger and you love RPGs, if you have a DS, I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care if it's a $40 game. I don't care if you can use a friggin' ROM. You need to get this. It's really, it's defining for the genre only because it does everything right. Like every single element, it does right. This, it's fresh. You know, it feels like it could have came out this year as a new game, and it's still excellent, you know. And it also comes with all of the in-game cutscenes, the animated cutscenes. And the cool thing is, if you go out and buy it early, first print run games come with a poster, and it's a nice little poster. So those of you that are fans of Chrono Trigger, you'll be able to get this poster here if you go out and buy it soon for the first print run of the game. And that comes right inside. So I'll probably do a review on it once I've beaten it entirely. But so far, you know, they don't use any silly touchscreen mechanics. You know, it's all, you can choose to not use the bottom screen, but I highly recommend it. You know, you get a map on the bottom. You have easy access to all your menus. Highly, highly recommend this one. Definitely pick it up if you love RPGs. Now, I was at work today, and I totally forgot about this one. I saw the cover art. I was like, I totally forgot that was coming out. I didn't even know it was out, and it's been out for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. And that's Rune Factory 2 for the DS. Now let me get a close-in shot here, if I can. I want to show you the cover art. This is what made me really want to get it. Check that out. That's some of the coolest cover art I've seen. It's like got a pastel, really light pastel look to it. Awesome, awesome art. Now, I've never played the other Rune Factory on DS, so I'm really looking forward to trying this one out. It's essentially Harvest Moon with an RPG kind of element to it, where you can go out, you can leave your farm, and you can go out and kill monsters and level up and all this kind of stuff. Dungeons. It's a Harvest Moon game with dungeons. Supposedly the series is really good, so I'm looking. I've played it for about an hour so far, maybe not even. So I'm not far in it at all. I can't really give you too many impressions besides the graphics look really good. Like they're static backgrounds with 3D models of characters and everything. It looks really, really nice. And so far, it seems like it's going to hold it pretty well. You know, it's got some fairly decent voice acting and some likable characters so far. So, check out my vlogs. I'll probably give you some updates on this one as I play with it. Now, the last two are still sealed. I just haven't had a chance to play them. And the first one would be Tornado for the DS. The reason why I bought this is because it had a cool outer cover. You know how BioShock on the 360 sort of has that cardboard outer cover and Metal Slug 7 on the DS? That's what made me buy it. It's like a shiny cover. Don't know too much about it. It got some pretty bad reviews, but I'm willing to give it a try. I'll let you know once I play this. And I also picked up Mercury Meltdown Revolution on the Wii, still sealed. I've been wanting to try this one out for a while, so whatever. It was 15 bucks. I picked it up. I'll get a chance to try this one sometime. But there you go, guys. That's what I picked up recently. Thanks for watching. Check out my vlogs. You know, that's where I'll do some updates from what I've been playing in between. See you guys later.